like for the Chaplain
Powell.
to come on and do the invocation. Chaplain Powell, are you there? Chaplain Powell.
Hey, Don. Okay, we don't hear him either, so something is going on. Hold on.
Chaplain Powell. Well, I will ask Bishop Banks to do the invocation for us.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Thank you. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for you being in this meeting. We ask that you will move by your spirit. Father, give the commissioners, put up on their heart the words to say that will affect and impact the community. In the name of Jesus, we thank you. We seal this prayer in the blood. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I need to make sure the court report can hear.
Excuse us, we're just trying to make sure the
John, can you
court
hear the
reporter
room
can
now?
transcribe.
Nope. Okay, but he's not in the room. So we need you to be able to hear us. I say he's not in the room, so I need you to be able to hear what's coming out of the room. Okay, let me do a mic check for you. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Court reporter on this side. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Say something, Don. We can't hear you in the room with your microphone.
Okay, this is my microphone.
Okay. Now can you hear us?
I don't hear anything from the room.
You don't hear anything from the room? Testing 1, 2, 3. We can hear you.
Can you hear us?
No, you can't. Miss Joshua, can you hear us in the room? Yes, she can hear us. I don't know, the court reporter can't hear us. So it's got to be on his end.
Okay.
What you want to do?
Well,
Yeah,
he should be able to transcribe from what the recorded meeting, right?
Go.
All right.
Okay.
And so being that we don't have a quorum right now, we want to open it up to public comment.
Good afternoon.
Well, Mr. Brown, let me tell you that I could hear the guy with the cell phone. I could hear it perfectly.
We're going to continue the meeting. You just got to figure the mutual.
Do you think that other people are going to be able to hear this?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chair, we have 4 speakers. Our first speaker will be Ms. Shanita Williams, then Ms. Hitchcock, Minister Eric Blunt, and Ms. Bernice Smith.
Okay.
Please state your name and speak in the mic.
I'm not gonna waste my 2 minutes on this. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharnita Williams. Is that clear enough?
Yes, speak through the chair.
Okay. Was that clear enough, Chair?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to discuss what's going on concerning undercover officers at 12900 West Chicago. It's 2 male officers. One name is Frank and one name is Mr. Bowman. And like I stated before, they are preying on women in there, sleeping with them. And they continue to violate my civil rights every day. It's like 4 other undercover police women in that facility also. And like the deputy chief said, it's not on books, but somebody gave them the authority to be at that facility. And like I said before, they endanger my life every time I go out of that facility. My constitutional rights is being violated. Illegal cameras, listening devices in my room when I get undressed. The garbage truck come every week to every day to get rid of the evidence that police officers are sponsoring people at that facility to spy and watch over me. And my devices are being hacked into constantly and rerouted. I can't even make no doctor's appointments because they continue to reroute my calls and hack into my devices. And I have an issue with this. This has been going on 3.5 years. But since I've been in this facility, it's going on 7 months. So somebody needs to find out what's going on because everybody say, oh, it's no officers in there. Here's a hospital ban from an officer that's from in that shelter. So I want to know who gave them permission. And then especially in there watching over Nikita Wilson after all this illegal stuff she have done to me.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Hitchcock, again, everyone, please state your name for the record.
And can we get the time placed on? Good afternoon. You could go ahead and speak.
Good afternoon. My name is Agnes Hitchcock. I've been down here before because a Detroit police officer decided not to do her job. I have a letter. I put a package on your desk. In that package is a letter from the state of Michigan to me. In that package is also a letter from Justin St. Clair, who works as an investigator in the office of the chief investigator. And also there's a letter in that pack from Detroit Water and Sewage Department. Now, what happened was a rogue plumbing company by the name of Any Moment Plumbing Company came into the alley where I live and dug 15 feet down into the infrastructure. They had been in that alley for more than a week. I'm retired, I don't have a life, and I very seldom take my car out of the garage. One day I decided to leave my garage while this plumbing company was working 3 lots from me. As soon as I take my dog, I had a doctor's appointment, I was late for it. I take my dog out to the back fence and strap him to the back fence. I get in my car and pull it into the alley to save time. As soon as I park my car, one of those plumbers run up to my car and say, "You can't park there." I did a head snap because I knew he wasn't talking to me. So I went on about my business. Next thing I know, another plumber from Any Moment Plumbing Company, a rogue plumbing company, walks up to me and says, "You can't park your car there. I have a cement truck coming." He didn't know how to talk to me. He could have asked me, told me kindly that, "Miss, I'm working in the alley down the street and I have a cement truck coming. How long are you gonna be?"
Time,
No.
Mr. Chair.
Beg your pardon?
Time.
Time?
Yes.
Okay. Beg your pardon. So,
Mr. Blunt.
what he did,
Excuse me, Ms. Hiscotch. That's the
I have seen
that's the
that
two.
the Detroit police officer wrote me that I am not going to pay. They had no right to barricade that alley. They had no right to barricade my garage. They had no right to do any of that.
Okay.
So, I've been
Thank
down
you.
here before, and it's your
Minister Eric
job
Blunt.
to do something about it. So
Yeah.
here's what it is. I am not going to
You're,
put those tickets.
you're out of time. They're there
State
to,
of Michigan has
they're there to work with you.
They told me that I have to go to private school.
He's right
I'm
behind
not
you.
going to
He's right behind you to work with you.
no ticket. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay additional insurance. I'm not going to do it because an officer decided to give me a ticket. I'm not going to do it.
Thank you.
So what I want you to do, you talked to me before.
Yeah. Miss Hiscotch. Miss Hiscotch.
You could tell me everything that was coming, please.
I've told you that before.
Come on, let's
In
talk
that
outside. Come on.
mascot over there, do not let that mascot talk to me when I'm down here.
Ma'am, can I speak to you in the hall? Through the chair.
Excuse me, ma'am.
If you don't like.
Miss Hiscotch.
Ma'am, can I talk to you in the hall, please? Thank you.
Through the chair.
Minister Blunt.
Through the chair. I'd like to talk with Ms.
Yeah.
Hiscox. Ms. Hiscox is definitely a District 5 resident.
Excuse me. You're
I'd
not
like to talk
recognized
to her.
at this point. Oh, you're not recognized at this point.
Come on out the hall, I'll talk with you.
You said
She's
you
one
would
of my
like to talk.
constituents. I'm going to talk with her.
Okay. Go ahead. It's y'all be nice. You know, point of order in here. Point of order.
You ain't got nothing to do with it either.
Point of order. Mother Smith. Mother Bernice.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We doing this in decency and in order. You point of order, please.
All right, I'm gonna shut up.
Minister Blunt.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church right here in Detroit. I'm calling for a moment of silence
Yeah.
for Sonia Massey. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If you don't know, she was murdered by police officers unjustly. But it just goes to show how quickly and easily things can get out of hand with law enforcement. And in fact, just here in Detroit, the innocent black man charged with murdering Samantha Wolf is still in prison. The only charges that have really been approved is lying to police officers. Why do I bring that up? Because it is legal for a law enforcement person to lie to citizens. You see how sick this system is? So the lady before me has a right to be upset. It's crazy to deal with this system. And just this week, the Metro Times documented and detailed how law enforcement in this city has legally lied to residents. Or should I just say told less than the truth. So we ought to be very compassionate with our citizens. The deck is stacked against us. Many systems in law enforcement are oppressive and downright wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Ms. Bernice Smith, followed by Mr. Tyrone Allen, followed by Ms. Fredia Butler.
I'm Bernice Smith, former police commissioner under Coleman Young. He assigned me in 1973. I have been dealing with the police department for years. I know their ins and outs. I just come back from Memphis, Tennessee. Compared to what the crime is down there, it's outrageous. We're like in heaven. Who ever heard of a man raping a woman in a car? In a car, right in front of her boyfriend. There are other crimes that I heard about when I was down there. I'm not going to take the time of my 3 minutes, but the fact is, we are doing a hell of a good job here in this city. I'm proud of my police department. They're doing the best that they can. They have problems, true enough. But give them a break and let them do their job. And stop coming here every week and complaining and complaining and complaining. If you made a complaint, let it work out. Let them do what they have to do for it. I get disgusted when people come here and talk about some BS all the time and the same thing, and then you got a commissioner that he's no better off than what they are because he doesn't help control the people that come here. Now, I am very much disgusted because of the fact that we do not have people that respect the police department. They're out there taking care of us. When they put that uniform on, they are risking their lives. We don't realize it.
42 seconds.
But I realize it. I'm down there at Greektown every weekend. I see what they do down there. I see the confusion that they have to endure down there. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just standing here for nothing. I don't come here every week and tell you this and that. We got to do better. The citizens got to do better. You got to respect the police. They're doing their job, and they're trying to do the best job that they can do. And I will not stand for these people to come down here and complain about the police all the time. Let them do their job, because I believe that they're trying the best way that they can. And I want all of you to know, you better pray sometimes, because God is watching all of us.
Time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Allen.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Tyrone Allen. I'm precinct delegate in 208. Very briefly, this is my issue. Chief White made an announcement a couple of weeks ago based on that pop-up party incident that there would be new emphasis placed on, the pop-up parties going on all over the city. I live in Palmer Park. I live directly behind Unity Temple. The officers at number 12, they do a great job of vacating the park at night. But what they're missing is that those people leave the park and they park right on the corner of 2nd and Covington, which is my street. These people pull up, and I have evidence to prove what I'm telling you right now. They've got one guy in particular, he'll pull up, he'll reach in his trunk and come out with a Bluetooth tooth speaker and place it on the ground, and he's out there bumping music as loud as it will go, sometimes until daybreak. That's just totally unacceptable. And, in my situation, I'm a disabled veteran with a PTSD diagnosis, and nobody should have to be exposed to anything like that. I've reached out to number 12 a number of times, and, they send out cars when I dial 911. But again, this is happening for every night. I've been there for 12 years. I didn't just move there. And this is as bad as I've seen it. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Chief, can you get someone to respond to that? Can you respond and have someone address that concern?
Sure. Through the chair, sir. Yes, sir. I took some notes. Commander Chambers is right there. He'll get your information, and we'll make sure that's taken care of for you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep. We would have a quorum, but Commissioner Burton is outside, and he has to be seated in order for us to have this meeting, to have a quorum in here. And it's very, very unfortunate to our candidates who have to be interviewed for secretary.
Through the chair, can we go? I mean, let's get him. I mean, come on.
We made that attempt. He's going. Commissioner Presley is out there trying to get that addressed. So the next public commenter.
Okay.
Mr. Jackie Hunt.
And how's everyone? So I'm here to, again, bring up the point about the abandoned vehicles and the police towing them. I wanted to bring up some more points. I happened to just drive around the city, and I saw one or two or a few of the orange stickers on cars. Mine happened to be legally parked, insured, et cetera, but I still received 3 stickers. It seems that you're taking poor people's cars, especially at this time of election, and they surely may not be able to even drive to a precinct this, August 1st? So I think that's inappropriate. But I wonder, is anybody speaking for those like me who are just happen to be poor, and we certainly can barely afford the insurance, and maybe it's a different maybe you can do nothing about it. I know the legislature, maybe the mayor, but the last person who tried before the legislature did this new thing was Sharon McPhail. And after she got, I suppose, what she needed, elected or appointed somewhere, we heard nothing, Detroit has heard nothing about trying to reduce insurance for the city. And I understand this new law from the state. People are disgusted with it because it's not doing what they thought it would do. So you're taking our cars, poor people's cars, and nothing in return. The mayor, does anybody have his ear so that we can get underneath, get away from this just seemingly picking on the poor and their cars or their homes or their property taxes so high, et cetera, et cetera? That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Vice Chair.
Excuse me, sir, through the chair. For the last speaker, in regards to your car being towed, are your plates current?
You come back up to the mic, sir.
Excuse me, sorry.
Not a problem.
It was not towed. It was in front of the house each time it received 3 orange stickers.
Oh, abandonment
Abandonment
stickers. So I'm asking, are your plates current on your vehicle?
Yes. Yes, they are. But it seems like Detroit police does not know that they can run the 60, well, in my case, I got 60-day temporary plate. Seems they don't know that they can run that, or can they?
So you have a temporary plate on your car. You just consistently getting a temporary plate instead of getting a permanent plate for your car? Because I'm just trying to find out the confusement of why you're getting ticketed.
I have now a temporary plate.
And you keep getting a temporary plate instead of the 2 weeks that you are supposed to have one and then get a permanent plate?
No. It's not 2 weeks. It's either, this is state of Michigan law, and that's what, when I talk to officers, like at the church the last time,
Okay.
do they know about these temporary plates? Evidently, they don't, from what I get in my head.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. I just was trying to get an understanding.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Next public commenter.
Sir, we're going to go into Zoom.
Ms. Butler.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Commissioners, in the Detroit Free Press, July 21st, it was reported that Mayor Duggan's top officials don't live in the city. It confirmed what I believe, that we are not highly thought of. If you recall a statement made by Mr. Carmack that the mayor doesn't care about you. Other than being who he is, are you contributing to that narrative? You are in the position to show leadership, are you? Are you performing the job of doing the work you were elected or appointed to do? Commissioners, I have been coming here for several years, and you have been looking for a secretary. You had 2 people who I thought performed well, and you fired them. You hired 2 other people, and 1 is no longer here. For the first time, we heard people being interviewed for the job of secretary, and what happened? I thought several of them qualified, and you did not choose one of them. What is that saying about you? Wake up and get your act together. Do you like yourselves that you can't work together? We are a great people. Let's live up to that. There are people listening to these meetings, and I'm ashamed when Minister Blunt and others make such demeaning statements before this body. Out of fear or received crumbs, let all of us represent our better selves. This is a new day. Let's stand up, listen, read, and learn, and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public commenter. And we're still waiting on quorum. Commissioner Bernard was in court, and she's supposed to be here right after court, so hopefully she's on her way. And of course, Commissioner Burton is outside in the hallway.
We're going into Zoom. Our next speaker will be Scotty Bowman.
You may be heard.
Okay, first question is Is it possible to yield my 2 minutes over to Agnes Hitchcock?
She's not in the room.
Okay. Again, I just wanted to say that she was starting to tell us something, and whatever it was, I'm certain that it was not frivolous, because I know Agnes Hitchcock over the years, and when she brings up an issue, it is something of substance. It is not a trivial matter, and I really hope that her concerns are addressed. And I just wanted to get that out there right away. I'm concerned about
Mr. Bowman, she's back in the room. If you want her to yield, her the remainder of your time, you can do that.
I'd like to do that.
What's the remainder of the time?
125.
125.
Thank you. Once again, the state of Michigan sent me a letter as a result of that ticket from the police officer, which was a ticket for driving in a construction zone which did not exist. Those plumbers were not city contractors. They did not have a permit to be in the alley, and they had no right to barricade my garage. Now, the state of Michigan has sent me a letter saying that I need to go to driving school because of those tickets that Officer Peacock gave me, and that the person who teaches me how to drive cannot charge me more than $100. And then if I don't go to driving school for those illegal tickets that she gave me, they tell me that 2 points are going to go on my driver's license, which will be forwarded to my insurance company, resulting in an increased rate. I keep explaining to you that you need to get those tickets out of the system. If you had a side piece and she got a ticket, you would pull that ticket out of the system. So just pretend and go and get that ticket out of the system. And I thank you so much for this 1 minute and 25 seconds. Thank you.
Next public commenter.
Our next public speaker will be former Commissioner William Davis.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, you may be heard.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you may be heard.
Okay, I think that this board needs to do something to help Miss Agnes Hitchcock. I've been knowing her for years, and you cannot continue to allow white contractors come into our city and abuse our black women. And you cannot continue. That's a problem that's gotten worse as more and more of our police officers live outside the city. Police officers, there should be more incentives for them to live in the city. Y'all should try to come up with more incentives, but y'all need to help Miss Agnes Hitchcock today. Also, Tyrone Allen, about the issue over in Palmer Park, those Palmer Park apartments. That's been going on for years, I know of. Action needs to be taken. It seems like action only happens when there's certain people complaining. We need to make sure that everybody in this city is treated correctly and everybody have rights. And, people's rights are not being, pushed over. Because, I remember when Coleman Young got elected in 1973 and took office in 1974, and that's when the police commission was formed in July of 74. I know we have some people that are confused, but, we need to make sure that we're doing all we can to help the people of the city of Detroit. And also, I think it's, criminal that this board does not have a quorum half the time. I worked for the city of Detroit for the water department for 34 years. If I didn't go to work, something needs to happen. Y'all need to have tighter standards. Y'all need to make sure that, if people are tuning in or coming down to the board meetings, that the board members are going to be there and be there on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next public commenter.
Our last speaker will be caller with the last 3 digits, 124.
You may be heard. Are you there, public commenter?
Yes, good afternoon. May I be heard?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please check things out. I came in, raised my hand, checked it, and it had been lowered. So it sounds like somebody wrote Miss Agnes Hitchcock a fraudulent ticket. That really needs to be checked into because they can't just make stuff up to make up a ticket. Also, what you're seeing there is there's in certain areas like the North End, there's a whole lot of gentrification pressure. And frankly, I think the way the city's going about business is causing a lot of undue tension that makes it more difficult for police officers. I support police officers, not all of them, because you need to clean house with the bad ones. And it seems like I hear there's like heavy enforcement going on in the North End. The neighborhood police officer, who I've been asking her to locate an arsonist who cut his tether off, I found out she's going around ticketing people for having cars parked on their own property. Supposedly that's because of possible rat infestation, but my neighbor they're hitting up, and I think he's being targeted because people want his property, not that they really care, because I know he wouldn't have rats in there. So it seems very un-American to be hitting people up for $250 tickets just because the cars parked are in their own property and there's no leaking oil or anything. It seems so un-American. But that you're using the neighborhood police officers to do that instead of go deal with these other issues. Like somebody should have come to that situation and de-escalated it and investigated it instead of turn around and give her tickets. And there's a lot going on, folks. People are very stressed out. That's why we need trauma-informed care. I imagine the police officers have trauma, but a lot of the residents do. And the way people are being treated, secretive planning, false narratives, shoving stuff down their throats, ticketing enforcement, but some people get ticketed, but some people don't.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. It appears that we now have a quorum. I would ask Mr. Brown to do the introductions of commissioners.
Yes, Chairperson Woods.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Smith.
Present.
Commissioner Banks.
Present.
Commissioner Bell, for an excuse absent. Commissioner Burton.
Mr. Chairman, I got to step back out to be with one of my constituents and check on them. They came before the board and they spoke during public comment, so excuse me for a moment. I'm present, but excuse me.
Well, you're not present now, and it's holding up our meeting, and it's very, very disgraceful that we will treat citizens like this, and I apologize to the citizens of the city of Detroit for this type of behavior. You guys do not deserve it. You do not deserve it in no shape, form, or fashion. He is an elected official, and he represents District 5. It's a sad day in the city of Detroit that we would treat citizens in this regard. We highly respect you. We highly regard you. We listen very intently, and everything that we can do in our power to be able to represent your complaints and interests, we're going to do that to the best of our ability. We can't take cases from the top to the bottom. We have a process. We have complaints that we have to get through, and we're working hard to get through. And we need the staff to be able to do this. To be able to do the business of the people of the city of Detroit. And we all took an oath, and I am very, very sorry that you are being treated like this by certain commissioners.
Can something be done about it?
Okay, no outbursts, please.
So, Mr. Chair, is there any other matter of business that can be handled in our amended agenda? Did we already do announcements or the Secretary's report?
Mr. Secretary, thank you for calling that to our attention. Mr. Secretary.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, under my report, you have 2 incoming correspondence, both of them from the Chief Investigator, and so those are in your package. And I go to announcement. The next BOPC meeting is Thursday, August 1st, 2024 at 3 p.m. That meeting is held here at Detroit Public Safety Headquarters, address 13013 3rd Street. And the next community meeting will be Thursday, August 8, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. with the 5th Precinct hosting and that would take place at WC3 Eastern Campus. That address is 5901 Connor Street, Detroit, Michigan 48213. And those are the announcements, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, I think that we will unfortunately have to reschedule the interviews that we have for today, noting that it looks like we're not going to be able to maintain a quorum, and seeing that I think we have expended rather all of the amended agenda that we could have. Either you can call for recess and see if that provides us enough time for Commissioner Bernard to arrive. But if not, then unfortunately we will have to reschedule. And again, I express my apologies to the two remaining candidates, because this would be the second time that we have rescheduled, and I recognize that comes with travel obligations and schedule changes and the like. So please do, on behalf of the commission, accept my apologies for our inability to be effective in moving forward with these interviews. But Mr. Chair, what's your desire?
I will ask for a 5-minute recess so that we can be able to try to get Commissioner Bernard on the phone.
All right.
Thank you. Get a point of order? Yeah. Excuse me? Thank you. There was another public commenter. Is that person available?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, yep, you may be heard.
Thank you. I'd like to,
You got to come to the mic, yep.
good afternoon. My name is Tom Robbins III, and I'm coming in to help a fellow citizen, Agnes Agnes Hitchcock. I almost said the actress. I want to give my minutes to her.
What is your pleasure?
Time to continue.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, yep, beautiful. You may be heard, Ms. Hitchcock.
Thank you.
How much time she has?
You have 2 minutes.
Minute 44 seconds.
Excuse me, how many time?
144.
144.
Okay, 144. This is my letter from Detroit Water and Sewage Department. Mrs. Hitchcock, 276 East Philadelphia, Detroit, Michigan. Please find this correspondence as a follow-up to the communication you provided on February 24 to the Detroit Water and Sewage Department and the Board of Water Commissioners regarding Any Moment Plumbing and yourself. We are saddened by the report and accounts of events transpired as described by Mrs. Hitchcock. Your comments have been received and an investigation has been conducted. Upon review, Detroit Water and Sewage has determined Any Moment Plumbing is not a DWS hired vendor or contractor. Furthermore, DWSD did not authorize work to be completed at or near 276 East Philadelphia and was not on site during the incident which Mrs. Hitchcock described. DWSD Security will leave the case file open in the event any further information is presented. Should you have any further questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office directly. A copy of this letter will be submitted to BOWC on March 6, 2024. Thank you for being a valued customer. Respectfully, Matthew Phillips, Chief of Staff, Customer Service Officer, Board of Water Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Investigator Warfare, do we have a complaint on file from Ms. Hitchcock?
Yes.
Through the chair, yes, we do have a
That
complaint on
number
file.
Are you ready?
Well, he recognized that we do have one, so
Okay, thank
so
you.
we have it. Thank you so much, Ms. Hitchcock.
If anybody else wants to give me some minutes, I've got some more.
Yeah. What is your pleasure, board?
Entertain them, well, not entertain, I'm not the chair anymore. I move that we adjourn.
Motion made by Commissioner Presley.
Second with discussion.
Yes, sir.
I'll just be entirely brief. I think we owe the public an apology. We have made several attempts. This is not just the first attempt that we've done at attempting to fill this vacancy, this critical vacancy that we have. As many of you know, the board secretary is often viewed as the executive director of the Board of Police Commissioners. It's very unfortunate that there is division in the sense of calling out appointees versus elected individuals on this body. I think what you have noticed, and you can go back and see minutes and you can see the consistency, we have our members here, whether we be elected, whether we be appointed. I think there is a unity component to what we're trying to accomplish. We would ask that you exercise your voice in the future, should that be your pleasure, in terms of just having better attendance, having quorum, not stepping outside, not attempting to disrupt the process that we're trying to achieve, because again, this process has been ongoing for over a year. And an apology to the candidates as well, as we understand that most of you have traveled from quite a distance, but we look forward to connecting with you offline to be able to reschedule these meetings.
Yeah, and I would like to deeply apologize from the bottom of my heart to the citizens of the city of Detroit, and as well as to the candidates. And we should have another commissioner take seat very, very soon, and we're going to work very, very hard to maintain a quorum so that we can be able to do the people's business in this setting. But rest assured that OCI is fully staffed right now, and OCI is doing the work of the people of the city of Detroit. We have some real great, talented new investigators that came in, and if I'll just ask Mr. Warfare to take a couple of minutes and just to be able to share to the public where how that process is working for us now, and we're working very hard to tackle the backlog and be able to attack the issues as they come.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, not to disrupt your prerogative, but we are in the midst of a motion for adjournment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. I stand corrected. And I apologize to my constituents. But the motion was made by Commissioner Presley, and it was seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor? Well, I guess we can't play.
You can't necessarily vote, so.
Yeah.
Motion is adjourned.
Yeah, okay.
It's adjourned.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. We are in adjournment.